In this video, we'll discuss how data can be compromised using social engineering. There is a great deal of information about you on the web. Some of it you may already know about, but some of you may not even realize it exists. Much of this data is collected by companies for marketing purposes, and most companies do a great deal to secure that information. But what could happen if there was a data breach? What would people know about you? Do you do your taxes online? Update your vehicle registration? Bank? Use GPS? Let's take a look at Google Timeline. This is a product that Google offers to everyone and uses your location data. You can turn this off, but you would have to know where to change the settings. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at Google Timeline. We're going to go to a specific time. Let's pick 2017. We'll go to February. And let's pick the 24th. Now this is a timeline of what we were specifically doing on that day. Here it gives us some detailed information. We walked 7.5 miles, 7.3, in 2 hours 38 minutes. We drove a car 18.7 miles for about an hour and 18 minutes. And then we were on a bus 4.1 miles for about 14 minutes. We started here at 8800 Grayson Court. We drove and then walked. Now if we click this detail, you'll see that we walked 5.8 miles in 31 minutes. We drove that, walked 0.6 miles in 5 minutes. Stopped at Test Track. Here you'll see this was a picture that was taken at that location. We walked additional 0.4 miles, still in Epcot. Took a few pictures, walked another mile. Stopped at the Tutto Gusto wine cellar. We were there for, looks like from 11:49 a.m. to 1:18 p.m. Walked some more and drove some more. Went to Disney's Animal Kingdom. Walked 1.7 miles. Still at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Walked 0.4 miles. Got on Expedition Everest. Walked some more, went to the Yak and Yeti restaurant. We were there from 4:38 to 5:38. Walked some more, got on the dinosaur ride, walked some more at Bay Lake, took the bus, walked to Hollywood Studios, and then we walked and then took a car back to 8803 Grayson Court. And you can see that as we hold our mouse over these specific pieces, it's telling us exactly where we were at that point in time. As you can see, Google collects a lot of information. If you turn off location monitoring, you'll be able to avoid that tracking, but then you won't be able to use certain applications, specifically GPS. So why is social engineering important to be aware of? Verizon's Data Breach Digest found that 90% of data loss incidents have a phishing or social engineering component. And companies with authentication processes, firewalls, VPNs, and network monitoring software are still wide open to attack if an employee unwittingly gives information away. A recent PCI Pay survey found that 1/5 of U.S. customers never return to breached brands. That's a big deal when it comes to business side of things. Now, when we look at RSA survey, we found that 62% blame the company first in the event of a data breach rather than the hacker. Therefore, if our school has a data breach, we get blamed, even though we've done everything in our power to make sure that nothing happens with our students' data. In this next clip, we're going to take a look at how people talk about their passwords and just how easy it is to get information regarding someone's password.
So back to this hack, this Equifax hack. I mentioned earlier, they may have compromised the information of 143 million Americans, which is a lot of Americans. So in light of this, as a service to the public, we've actually done this before and it's very effective. We asked people who are passing by our theater today what password they use to protect their personal information. And pay attention, please, because there are a lot of important tips to be shared here.
We are talking to people about the cybersecurity breach at Equifax, and in light of that, we're asking people how secure their internet passwords are. What do you use for an internet password?
I usually stick to my last name. That's probably not the best thing to do, but I usually stick to my last name, a few digits, maybe like a hashtag or something, or
How do you spell your last name?
Walker.
Walker?
Yeah.
W-A-L-K-E-R?
Yeah.
And then just a few numbers?
I probably should have told you
And
that.
then a
but-
hashtag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The numbers, like, what do you use? Like your birthday or something? Your area code?
Yeah. Usually like my birthday,
How old are you?
21.
21? What day you born?
November. No, the day. Sorry, the 29th.
29th of November.
Yeah.
So Walker, 11/29/95.
Woo! I probably shouldn't say that, but
That's okay.
yeah.
How strong is your internet password?
Strong.
What sort of things do you use?
Capital letters, lowercase letters, numbers, characters, everything.
What's a current password you're using?
I don't really want to tell the current password that I'm using, to be honest.
You think I'm a hacker?
Not necessarily. Well, I mean, I guess, you know, like 63XJ9 hat symbol, at symbol, basically. All characters, pretty random assortment, and I just try
Do
to
you use
memorize.
that one?
Yes.
Thank you. What is your internet password that you use for your email?
In and Out 2017.
That was easy.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
My internet password is capital W @TER capital B 0 NG water bong.
Yeah, we probably could have guessed that one.
My internet password is okay.
Yeah.
Mila for what's MILR64.
Well, that's nice. Now Americans can hack into a Russian
no.
website. No, that'd be fun. Hello, sir. What is your name?
Jerry Reed,
Jerry, where are you from?
Whittier, California.
What do you do out there besides scare school children? How strong is your internet password?
I'd say pretty strong.
Yeah. What sort of things do you use for it?
You know, things that I like.
What sorts of things do you like?
Maybe a dog, an animal, a place I've been, someone I know.
So like Rover mental ward.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, well, that's Jerry. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. Your secret is very safe with us, okay?
Well, thank you.
Okay, we don't. You just keep this between all of us.
Thanks, Jimmy.
All right, you're welcome, Jerry. All right. Do you love?
Social engineering is the use of deception to manipulate individuals into divulging confidential or personal information that may be used for fraudulent purposes. Some examples include Target from 2013. 40 million credit and debit card numbers were stolen. Target suspects that the breach occurred by a phishing email that was sent to an HVAC subcontractor was opened. Ubiquity Networks in 2015 wired $39.1 million to foreign impersonators. The impersonators used email to look like it came from the chief financial officer, but was a fictitious account. And in 2017, Boulder Valley School District, a hacker contacted the district posing as an employee of Peterson Construction Company. The school district wired $850,000 to an account that was not affiliated with Peterson Construction Company and didn't know until Peterson got in touch to find out why they hadn't been paid. Social engineering comes in many forms. There's phishing, spear phishing, pretexting, vishing, quid pro quo, water holing, and baiting. We'll look at each of these individually in the next few minutes. When we look at social engineering, there's some interesting facts. Vishing calls are more successful in the afternoon, mainly because people are tired and want to go home. Friday is the most vulnerable day for employees, mainly because we spent the whole week working and people want to get started on the weekend. And HR open enrollment in U.S. clients is also one of the most successful pretexts, simply because we're expecting that we're going to get phone calls and email regarding our human resources benefits. So let's look at pretexting. That's using a fictitious scenario, the pretext, where the criminal establishes trust, perhaps through impersonation, which is leveraged to create false motive for an unsuspecting individual to divulge information or to do something he or she normally would not do. In this next video, we'll see an example of pretexting.
What do you think of when I say the word hacker? Some creepy dude in a basement? Well, that's a misconception. What if I told you there's a class of hackers who don't just have social skills? They have more social intelligence than anyone you'll ever meet. David Kennedy is one of them. He's what's known as a social engineer, or a people hacker. His craft is to dupe you into doing things and sharing information you probably shouldn't.
Can I just get your credit card number?
Some use it for illegal activity. In David's case, companies pay him to find out if employees are leaving the company vulnerable. He and his team show us how it's done. Step 1. Spoof his number so it looks like he's calling from inside the company, and then call tech support.
Hello, you there? Hello?
Hi, this is Ken. How may I help you?
I was wondering if you can take a look at a website I'm trying to get to. It's for a big customer thing I'm working on for Monday, and I can't seem to get to the website from my computer.
Sure. What's the website? I'll see if I can get to it.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the help. I mean, it could be a stupid thing. I'm really stuck with computers, but so it's www.survey. That's SURVEY -pro.com.
Yeah, I got a prompt to open. Just click open, and I'm at the site now.
Here's what the IT guy doesn't realize. By clicking that link, he's just given David full access to his computer.
Whoa, okay, that's weird. I just hit it and it works. It seems like it's working fine now. Awesome. I don't know what you did, man, but I really appreciate the help.
Hey, no problem. That was easy.
That was it?
We're on his computer right now.
You were able to take over this guy's computer within, I would say, like under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes, yeah. Under 2 minutes, took over his entire computer, and think of it as not just his computer, but it's pretty much a downfall of the entire company.
In this case, the company was paying David to hack them and see if their employees would fall for it.
Pretexting can come in many forms. Phishing is a form of pretexting that involves leaving a voicemail or calling, pretending to be a reputable business or a person in order to convince someone to do something you want. The next video is an example of a phishing phone call. Have you ever had a phone call from someone supposedly from Microsoft? They often tell you that you have an infected computer and the Microsoft servers are picking up on the problem. They will ask for credit card information and often try to gain access to your machine. If you've experienced this, you have experienced a phishing phone call.
So I invited a few of the world's best hackers to try to hack me and show me where my vulnerabilities are. And now I'm going to meet them in Las Vegas for DEF CON, the biggest hacker convention of the year. They're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
Do you want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it. Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider and
Okay.
see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm going to spoof from your number, so it's going to look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. my husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
At gmail.com?
Jessica gets access to my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account.
Jess uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry, so there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right, thank you. Your password now, because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yeah.
Social engineering, or quid pro quo, is the process of giving something to get something back. A good example of this would involve a call from a person pretending to be in the technology department. The person calls extensions, claiming to follow up on a technical problem. Eventually finding someone with an issue, they work with them to fix the problem. During the course of the support, they gain access to the system or can type in malicious commands. Water holing is another form of social engineering. It involves an attacker finding a weakness in a legitimate website known for attracting a specific target group. By using the compromised site, visitor systems are infected with malware. Being aware that water holing sites exist is an important way to protect yourself. Although most of the burden of protecting the site falls on the website owner, knowing signs that there is a problem can provide you with insight into problems you may experience once your system has been compromised. This will allow you to take corrective action.
What is a watering hole? Cybercriminals are clever and know how to evolve. They've proven this once again with their latest attack strategy, the watering hole, which leverages cloud services to help gain access to even the most secure and sophisticated enterprises and government agencies. Recognizing a watering hole attack and how it works is valuable in managing risk, as it poses a significant threat to network security. As the namesake suggests, a watering hole attack casts a wide net, hoping to take advantage of victims likely to visit certain websites. As they access the now compromised site, little do they know it has been infected with malware, with the intent to prey upon targeted individuals and access their information with malevolent intent. The attack plays out like this. Step 1. The attacker profiles their victim and identifies the types of websites they often visit. By narrowing in on frequented websites of employees or customers of a specific company, the attacker can begin to select the perfect site to exploit. An example of this is a restaurant website company employees typically use for ordering lunch online. Step 2. The attacker will identify and test vulnerabilities of the restaurant's online ordering website. Step 3. Once the attacker has identified the vulnerabilities of the website, they will infect it with malware. Step 4. The attacker then waits for users of the targeted group to visit the website to place their online lunch order. Step 5. Once users click on the compromised restaurant site, they are redirected to a site that contains malware, and their system is now compromised. The attacker may now have access to company files, including private customer information, and can use this compromised system as a jumping-off point to wreak additional havoc on the company's network. Watering hole attacks work because they compromise a legitimate website, which is often difficult to block or blacklist in a workplace. But there are ways to guard against this type of attack. Keeping system vulnerability patching current, confirming the security postures of third-party website providers, investing in quality hardware, and configuring hardware in accordance with industry best practices are all key to the defense against watering hole attacks. Common users, especially those with elevated privileges or access to the most sensitive company information, should be made aware of the nature and dangers of watering hole attacks. Additionally, internal security teams must learn their networks inside and out. Understanding what normal looks like is the first step to identifying abnormal activity. They must also limit the damage an attacker can exact on a network should the system be compromised. Taking these steps to build a quality cyber plan is necessary to manage risks.
A few years ago, there was an artist in Germany that developed a game called Dead Drops. He cemented USB drives into walls and left clues for people to find them. This took place all over the world. The problem is this: many drives that you find lying around may contain malware that is designed to infect your computer. This is called baiting. Someone leaves a flash drive for people to find with malicious software or worse on it. The next video is a demonstration of just how bad it can be.
Now before we proceed, do not try this at home. Seriously, I plug this in and it's going to die. So, plug it in 3, 2, 1.
By inserting the USB drive into the USB port, you have effectively nuked your machine, and it's now unrepairable. Phishing is a form of fraud in which an attacker tries to fool unsuspecting users into clicking a link or opening an attachment that will download malicious software to provide the attacker with access to a network drive or valuable data. Phishing comes in several flavors. Phishing itself is a broad attack that is not personalized to a specific individual. Usually these are sent in large numbers like junk mail. If only a small percentage of people click or open them, the return can be massive. Spear phishing is a much more targeted attack. These are personalized to the victim. Often these include your name or other identifying information to make the victim feel that the email is legitimate. Whaling is a specific spear phishing campaign that targets high-ranking individuals, such as superintendents of schools, presidents of companies, or other executives. Often the attacker will pose as a high-ranking official within the organization. In the next video, the speaker will demonstrate how to identify phishing campaigns.
So our first example is an email that purports to come from PayPal. Now these things are always riddled with typos and grammatical errors and stupid mistakes. So as we go through, I'm just going to highlight the ones I spotted. I think I probably didn't even get them all, but let's have a look and see what's wrong with this email and why you shouldn't believe it. So the subject is important. Update your information account. Exclamation mark. We've limited access to your account until we hear from you. Space, full stop. Hello PayPal user. Recently we have detected different logins from your account from different country, followed by some illegal buys. We think that you are not who do that, so we have suspended your account. Open your account by clicking to login button and remember to update your informations after logging in. We will give you 1 day to update your informations or we will suspend your account forever. Sincerely, PayPal. P.S. The following button contains a special link that gives you the possibility to open your account. Okay, so we've got, a dozen different problems here. So the first thing to realize is that PayPal is a large company that employs thousands of people, and probably dozens or maybe hundreds of those people are in the communications department. PayPal would never send an email that's this badly written. I think in all of my experience of dealing with legitimate messages from Microsoft, PayPal, Amazon, I think I've maybe seen 1 or 2 genuine typos or grammatical errors in genuine emails from those companies. So why would you believe this is real and click on the login button? So the next one we've got purports to be from iTunes. And it says, thank you, song purchase orders on new devices accepted, statement review, account subscription order, Jason Mraz, songs $3.19. Now the fact that I don't have an iTunes account most likely means nobody has purchased anything on my iTunes account. Now you might be surprised by this, but I have actually come across people who have opened an attachment or clicked on a login button in a phishing email that said there was a problem with an account they didn't even have. You'd be surprised, people do that. Anyway, let's have a look at the rest of this email. So obviously it's clearly not from Apple, and it says, Dear customer. Now I think Apple would probably know the customer's name. It says, this email confirm your subscription purchased. Subscription order songs, invoice date Friday, November the 13th, 2018. What to do next? 1. Download and review invoice we attach. 2. Open and read invoice newsletter. 3. If it is not you who do order, please follow the steps that are in the invoice. If indeed you are doing this transaction, just ignore this email. Thanks you. Regards, iTunes Apple Store. Now note there's a complete lack of any Apple branding here. Now there's no indication at all that this email is in fact from Apple, so why would you open the attachment? So we've got another one here purporting to be from PayPal. There is no subject. It's not from a PayPal email address. So the title inside the email is Your PayPal account has been limited. You have to solve the problem in 24 hours. Hello PayPal customer. We are sorry to inform you that you cannot access all of your PayPal advantages like sending money and purchasing due to account limitation. So the title of the next section, if we ignore the spurious characters, is Why My Account PayPal is Limited. And the answer is because we think your account is in danger from stealing and unauthorized uses. What can I do to resolve the problem? You have to confirm all your account details on our secure server by click the link below and following all the steps. And then right down at the bottom of the message there's another unexplained, completely spurious character. So again, PayPal would never send a message that's this poor quality. It's completely unbelievable. So why would you click that bubble? Email address. It's got a bit of spurious text up the top there that says gov. No idea why. It's got a logo that isn't even using the right font for PayPal. And then it says, we recorded capital P previously suspicious movements in your account. I don't know what previously suspicious movements are supposed to be. But anyway, reading on. Your account will be limited, comma, capital B, capital W, because we recorded previously suspicious movements in your account. Please update your account informations in order to continue and ensure the best service. Update account now. All this for protect your account with update now. So again, there is nothing about this email that looks legitimate, and it's completely crammed full of nonsense wording. It's completely unbelievable. Why would you click on that button?
If you have any questions, please contact the IT department and we'll do our best to assist you.